Have you ever noticed that sometimes the smartest thing you can do is to act like you don't know a thing? It sounds strange, doesn't it? After all, we spend our whole lives gathering knowledge, learning from experience, and growing wiser. But here's a little secret that only life itself can teach you. Sometimes the greatest wisdom comes not from proving how much you know, but from knowing when to step back, stay quiet, and let things play out. As we get older, we start to see life differently. We learn that not every battle is worth fighting, not every opinion needs to be shared, and not every responsibility should land on our shoulders. But the world around us doesn't always get the memo. People assume that just because you've got time, you're available. They think that because you've lived long enough to know better, you must want to get involved. They believe that because you've seen it all, you must have something to say about everything. And before you know it, you're caught in the middle of unnecessary drama, being pulled into arguments, or carrying burdens that were never yours to begin with. That's where the art of playing dumb comes in. Not out of ignorance, but out of wisdom. Not out of weakness, but out of strength. It's the ability to protect your peace, to sidestep unnecessary stress, and to keep your focus on what truly matters. It's the quiet power of knowing when to act unaware, uninterested, or uninvolved so you can live a life that feels lighter, calmer, and more free. In today's video, we're going to talk about 7 specific situations where playing smart will only drain you, but playing dumb will set you free. Whether it's avoiding arguments, dodging manipulation, or simply keeping your sanity intact, these small but powerful shifts can make all the difference. By the end of this, you'll see why sometimes pretending not to know is the smartest move of all. Let's start with one of the biggest energy drains that most seniors face. People expecting you to take on responsibilities that you never asked for. The moment you retire or slow down, people assume you have all the time in the world. Suddenly, you're the go-to babysitter, the family therapist, the one who's expected to organize gatherings, run errands, or take on tasks that no one else wants to do. And here's the tricky part. Because you're wise, capable, and have decades of experience, it's easy for people to assume you can handle everything. But here's where playing dumb can save you. The next time someone tries to put something on your plate that you don't want, try this. Act just a little unsure. Not incompetent, just hesitant. A simple, "Oh, I'm not sure I'd be much help with that," or "I wouldn't even know where to start," can do wonders. If they push, you can always add, "You might want to check with someone else. I wouldn't want to mess it up." Notice the magic in those words? Suddenly they start rethinking whether you're really the best person for the job. The truth is, you've spent a lifetime being responsible. You don't owe anyone your time, your effort, or your energy unless you genuinely want to give it. You have every right to protect your peace without guilt. Playing dumb isn't about being dishonest. It's about setting boundaries in a way that's subtle but effective. Because the moment you let people see that you're always available, they will keep coming back expecting more and more. There's a certain freedom in letting go of the need to always be the one who steps up. Not every favor needs to be accepted. Not every request needs your yes. And sometimes the smartest thing you can do is to let someone else handle it. So the next time you see an unnecessary burden coming your way, just smile, take a deep breath, and let them figure it out without you. Another place where playing dumb is a lifesaver, arguments. As we get older, we start to realize that most arguments aren't about finding the truth. They're about ego. They're about who can talk louder, who can prove a point, who can win. But here's the thing. Winning an argument doesn't bring peace. In fact, the older you get, the more you see how pointless most debates really are. Whether it's a family squabble, a disagreement with a friend, or even a stranger trying to drag you into a heated discussion, the best response isn't always to prove your intelligence. Sometimes it's to act like you didn't even hear it. A simple, "Oh, I don't really follow all that," or "Oh, is that what people are saying these days?" is all it takes to remove yourself from the battleground. Watch how fast the energy shifts when you refuse to engage. People who love to argue thrive on reaction. They want you to correct them, challenge them, or get riled up. But the moment you act uninterested, as if their words don't even register as important, they lose their power. You keep your peace, and they're left arguing with themselves. Now, this doesn't mean you should ignore conversations that truly matter. If something affects your well-being or your values, of course you should speak up. But when it's just about opinions, politics, or someone trying to prove they're smarter than you, why waste your breath? You've got nothing to prove. Let them have their moment. Let them feel like they won and move on with your life in peace. Because at the end of the day, the person who stays calm stays in control. Another place where playing dumb is a lifesaver, arguments. As we get older, we start to realize that most arguments aren't about finding the truth. They're about ego. They're about who can talk louder, who can prove a point, who can win. But here's the thing, winning an argument doesn't bring peace. In fact, the older you get, the more you see how pointless most debates really are. Whether it's a family squabble, a disagreement with a friend, or even a stranger trying to drag you into a heated discussion, the best response isn't always to prove your intelligence. Sometimes it's to act like you didn't even hear it. A simple, "Oh, I don't really follow all that," or, "Oh, is that what people are saying these days?" is all it takes to remove yourself from the battleground. Watch how fast the energy shifts when you refuse to engage. People who love to argue thrive on reaction. They want you to correct them, challenge them, or get riled up. But the moment you act uninterested, as if their words don't even register as important, they lose their power. You keep your peace, and they're left arguing with themselves. Now, this doesn't mean you should ignore conversations that truly matter. If something affects your well-being or your values, of course you should speak up. But when it's just about opinions, politics, or someone trying to prove they're smarter than you, why waste your breath? You've got nothing to prove. Let them have their moment, let them feel like they won, and move on with your life in peace. Because at the end of the day, the person who stays calm stays in control. If there's one place where unnecessary stress creeps in, it's family dynamics. No matter how much you love your family, there's no denying that relationships come with their fair share of drama. Maybe it's old sibling rivalries, constant disagreements over decisions, or family members who always have something to say about how you should live your life. And sometimes the best way to keep your peace isn't by offering advice or correcting someone. It's by playing dumb and stepping aside. When family members try to pull you into gossip, feuds, or decision-making that you'd rather not be a part of, don't take the bait. Act like you're blissfully unaware. "Oh, I didn't hear anything about that." Or, "I'm just happy to see everyone getting along," are magic words that let you bow out gracefully. Instead of being dragged into someone else's conflict, you become a neutral presence, untouchable, unbothered, and at peace. The truth is, family tensions are often fueled by people wanting validation for their side of the story, but you don't have to play referee. You've spent enough years dealing with life's ups and downs to know that most problems resolve themselves without your interference. By choosing to disengage, you're not being unkind, you're protecting your own well-being. At this stage in life, your peace of mind is far more valuable than proving a point or getting involved in arguments that won't change anything. Let people work things out on their own. Let them learn their own lessons. You don't need to fix everything or have an opinion on every matter. The moment you choose to step back, you create space for yourself, a space free from unnecessary stress where you can truly enjoy your days without carrying the weight of family drama on your shoulders. One of the easiest ways to get taken advantage of is falling for sales tactics. And unfortunately, older adults are often the main target. Whether it's a pushy salesperson, a too good to be true deal, or a high pressure sales pitch, these tactics work by making you feel like you need to act fast or risk missing out. But here's the trick. When you act too smart, they see you as a challenge. When you play a little dumb, they lose interest. The next time a salesperson tries to reel you in, don't argue, don't explain, and don't try to outsmart them. Instead, lean into confusion. "Oh, I never make big purchases without my lawyer looking it over," or "I just don't understand all this new technology. I'll have to think about it." The moment they realize you're not an easy sell, they'll move on to the next person. If you appear too knowledgeable, they'll try harder to convince. But if you play dumb, they'll see you as someone who won't bite and won't waste their energy. This is especially useful when dealing with financial scams, insurance sales, or expensive home repairs. Many scammers assume seniors are an easy target, but the best way to throw them off is to act like you don't quite follow what they're saying. "Oh, I don't really understand contracts anymore," or "I'd have to ask my kids about that," is a quick way to get them to back off. Playing dumb isn't about being dishonest. It's about protecting yourself. Because when it comes to money, the less people think you have, the less they'll try to take from you. As you get older, one of the most valuable things you have isn't money, it's your energy. And yet so many people will try to take pieces of it without even realizing. Whether it's a neighbor who always needs a favor, a friend who constantly unloads their problems on you, or even family members who expect more than you can give, it's easy to find yourself drained before you even realize what's happening. But here's where playing dumb becomes your best defense. The next time someone pushes past your boundaries, act like you don't even notice. If someone asks you for too many favors, don't explain why. You can't just act like you forgot. Oh, I completely lost track of time. Or, oh dear, I didn't even realize that was today. If someone starts venting about their problems and you don't have the energy to listen, act a little distracted. Oh, I must have missed what you said. What were you talking about? 9 times out of 10, they'll drop it and move on. The truth is, people who constantly take from you aren't usually doing it out of malice. They're doing it because they don't realize they're draining you. When you play dumb instead of pushing back, you create natural boundaries without confrontation. You don't owe anyone constant access to your time, your attention, or your emotional energy. And if acting a little forgetful or a little unaware helps you reclaim your space, then that's wisdom, not weakness. There's a powerful secret that most people don't understand. The less you say, the more power you hold. In life, silence is often your greatest tool, and yet many people feel the need to fill every quiet moment with words. But here's the truth. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. When someone tries to bait you into gossip, just smile and say nothing. When someone tries to provoke you into reacting, let their words hang in the air unanswered. When someone expects you to jump in with an opinion, just nod and stay quiet. Watch what happens. People start to second guess themselves. They start wondering what you're thinking. They realize they can't pull you into their games. Playing dumb in conversation doesn't mean being unengaged. It means knowing when to withhold your energy. It means understanding that not everything needs your input, not every comment needs a reply, and not every situation needs you to take a side. And here's the beautiful thing. When you learn to let silence do the work for you, people respect you more, not less, because wisdom isn't about how much you say. It's about knowing when to say nothing at all. There's one more situation where playing dumb isn't just helpful, it's necessary. And that's when it comes to letting others learn by experience. It's natural to want to share your wisdom, to protect people from making mistakes, and to step in when you see someone heading down the wrong path. After all, you've been through it. You know how things turn out. But here's the hard truth. Not everyone wants advice, and not everyone will listen, no matter how right you are. How many times have you warned someone about a bad decision only for them to ignore you? How often have you given guidance only to be met with, oh, that's not how things work anymore, or you just don't understand? It's frustrating, isn't it? You see the iceberg ahead, but they're too busy sailing full speed ahead to notice. So instead of wasting your breath, try this. Nod, smile, and let them figure it out on their own. The next time someone dismisses your wisdom, don't argue. Just say, oh, that sounds interesting, or I never thought of it that way. No sarcasm, no trying to prove them wrong, just quiet acceptance. Because the truth is, some lessons can only be learned through experience. And when they finally see for themselves what you already knew, they'll remember your quiet wisdom far more than they would have remembered an argument. At a certain point in life, peace becomes more important than being right. The joy of watching others grow is greater than the frustration of trying to teach them before they're ready. You've done your part, you've lived, you've learned, and you've shared when it mattered. Now you get to sit back and enjoy the show. So here's the takeaway. Wisdom isn't always about showing what you know. Sometimes it's about knowing when to let go. It's about choosing peace over proving a point, boundaries over burdens, and silence over unnecessary conflict. Playing dumb doesn't mean you don't know. It means you know better. It means you understand that life is too short to spend your time arguing, explaining, or carrying weight that isn't yours to carry. The older you get, the more you realize that not every problem is yours to solve. Not every conversation needs your input. Not every favor needs your time, and not every battle needs to be fought. The true power of wisdom is knowing when to step back, let things be, and enjoy the life you've built for yourself. Have you ever played dumb in a situation to keep your peace? If so, share your experience in the comments below. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe, because sometimes the best way to navigate life is not by outsmarting everyone, but by knowing when to step back and let the world spin without you.